And we're back with another episode of Joe vs. Joe. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Jordan.
And we're back with the Joe vs. Joe show. This is the Joe vs. Joe show. And we please, just real quick to get it out of the way, please subscribe to our channel and follow us on social media. Do all the things. Jordan, where can they follow us?
At Joe vs. Joe, JOVSJOE. Please follow us. Do all the things. It really helps us out. So thank you.
And we appreciate all the subscribed people that we have and all the follows that we get and all the participation that we get as well. We really appreciate you guys, and thank you for being a part of this show with us. It's been so fun so far, and we're just getting started with the season. What a week 3 it was.
Yes, we have so much to say about week 3, and then we have so much to say heading into week 4.
Yep, that's right. And before we dive into what just happened this week, please send us where you're going and what you're doing at the ball games. Okay, if you go to a game, send us a picture. We'll share it on our stories.
We want your game day experience. We share ours. Please share yours too.
If your team is away and you're watching it on TV, send us a picture of the fam watching it on TV and all your gear, anything. Send us a picture. We'd love to share your stories and share how you watch college football. It's just all in fun, and we'd love to have you guys participate even more.
And with that, let's review week 3 because it was quite the week. We had more upsets, maybe not as crazy as week 2, but we had some serious upsets and everything that happened. So let's dive right into it. Our first game last week was number 12 BYU at number 25 Oregon.
Wow.
The crowd said, the crowd is you guys, just in case you're new here, but the crowd said BYU was going to win. We both said BYU was going to win, and we were all wrong. Oregon showed up, and they just dominated. They were so good. They won 41-20, I think was the final score.
Yeah.
And they just absolutely looked dominant the entire game. I think everyone was questioning them after they lost to Georgia week 1 and got blown out by Georgia week 1, didn't even score a touchdown. But they showed up to this week, and it was absolutely insane. From the beginning to the end, they looked like the most dominant team. Bo Nix had the game of his life, and he looked great, like the quarterback that everyone was hoping for at Auburn. It was just a crazy game. I think BYU probably went into it thinking they would just beat them because they beat Baylor the week before.
And not to say that you played bad. I think BYU actually played a good game.
No, and they actually had a good amount of – I think they had more passing yards than Oregon.
Potentially.
They had like 200 and something odd passing yards. So Jaron Hall played a great game. Yeah.
305 to 227.
There you go. So – they had 300. BYU did?
BYU did, yeah.
There you go. So they had more passing yards. They played a decent game.
They won in the turnover battles. Crazy.
Yeah, Oregon had 1 turnover. Oregon just came out, and they knew that they needed to show that they are still Oregon. They're not a laughing stock, which everyone thought they were after Georgia. So, yeah, Oregon won that game, and none of us got that right.
We all got it wrong. It was a sad game for BYU for sure, but on to the next one. Game number 2, we had number 7 Oklahoma at Nebraska. Now, you want to talk about sad games.
Yeah, at least you're not Nebraska BYU fans.
Yeah, Nebraska, we said it last week, you're in a really hard situation at the moment. You just lost your head coach, Coach Frost, and you now are going into unprecedented territory, really scary. You did score first, and you kind of got everybody excited, just wild. And then Oklahoma just kind of took it from there and went on to we don't really need to say anything more. But Oklahoma won, and we all said that was the case, right, beforehand. That was all our predictions. Yes,
everyone said that Oklahoma would win. And it's funny because Nebraska scored first and last. It's just that Oklahoma
scored
like 49 points in between.
So yeah, but, you can only go up from here, Nebraska, I guess. But
maybe.
But the thing is, Oklahoma. Let's look at it from Oklahoma's point of view. you haven't really taken a down step since, all the drama that happened in the offseason and everything like that. You haven't really gone down. You're kind of maintained, and you're a tough team, and you're a team to beat, to be honest.
I know, and
we
with the
can't
new head
sleep on
coach-
Oklahoma.
Honestly, we can't with a new head coach and everything. And that defense is looking night and day from last year. Like, to hold Nebraska, it was a lot closer game last year with Oklahoma and Nebraska. And I know Nebraska was kind of without a head coach, but still, Oklahoma's defense, I don't think, would have held them to 14 points last season.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, well,
See.
bless your hearts, Cornhuskers. And Oklahoma, you know what? You're not to be messed with right now.
yeah, you're a shoo-in almost right now for the Big 12. Okay, next we have number 11 Michigan State at Washington.
Shocker.
This one was one of the upsets, and it was just shocking, to be honest. Like, I think, well, all of us, the crowd, you guys, and us, we all said Michigan State was going to win. We all thought that.
It felt like the obvious decision.
Yeah, well, Michigan State was number 11. Washington was terrible last year. Lost to Montana last year. Like, absolutely terrible. And they weren't supposed to be, like, great this year either. But they pulled off the win in Seattle and ended up beating number 11 Michigan State. And they beat them, 39-28. But that score, it was actually a lot, more dominant win of Washington than that score shows, because Michigan State scored 14 points in the last quarter. So it was actually a bigger, difference. But so, are the Huskies back? We don't know. Like, maybe they are. Everyone was thinking of Oregon, USC, Utah for the Pac-12 championship. Maybe let's not count out Washington.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see how Washington does moving forward, and we'll see if Michigan State was even really a number 11 team.
Right.
Obviously Washington had other things to say about that, but it was very interesting. We'll see what happens. But good job, Huskies. Proud of you guys. And then moving on, the next game we had, game number 4, was number 22 Penn State at Auburn. This was an interesting game. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a lot closer than what it was. Penn State just... If you watched... not watched. Last year we weren't a video channel, but we're both now. But last year I said I really like Penn State. I've always liked them. I've always thought they were cool. And I really like them this year. I think that they're going to be a fun team, and they're going to be competitive. But yeah, they really showed that they're here to play against Auburn. And Auburn, are you gonna make it back? Like, are you okay? It was sad. But,
yeah, super sad. Ended up not being a close game at all.
Yeah, but who said what for that game, Jordan?
We all said Penn State for that game.
We
Penn State. We knew. Our final game last week, our game of the week, was number 13 Miami at number 24 Texas A&M. Texas A&M had a lot to prove since they lost to Appalachian State at Texas A&M last week. That was one of the major upsets. So, Texas A&M had a lot to prove, but Miami had a lot to prove. Like, are they back? Are they legit? This was Mario Cristobal's first, big game as the Miami head coach. And so, this was a huge game for both teams. But Texas A&M ended up pulling it out just 17-9. So it was not that high of a scoring game. Texas A&M's offense is struggling a little bit, but their defense is looking pretty decent. Crazy game, but Texas A&M ended up pulling it out. And do you have anything else to say?
It was a game that was a dogfight. Mm-hmm. And so it was close.
It was close the whole game.
And it just came down to who made the most mistakes at the end. Miami had the muffed punt, right. And just they couldn't convert on fourth down. They made just a few more mistakes than what Texas A&M did. Texas A&M, we just because they had the number 1 recruiting class and all the things, we can't put them as number 1 yet. Mm-mm. They're young, and they look like it, but they're a very talented young team. So it'll be interesting to see how they do moving forward. But here's the deal. we had this as our game of the week, and we had people submit their submissions for their winner and their score prediction, and we had a good amount. And this week, Tanner Dupay, you're our winner. Woohoo!
So congrats.
Congrats, Tanner. Thank you so much for submitting. And thank you to all the people who submitted. Please, thank you so much. We can't give you all shout outs or anything like that, but Tanner, congrats. And thank you so much. And please continue, everybody, to submit your predictions. We love the participation.
Yeah, we love hearing that. And then with that, I got that one right, and the crowd got that one right. We both said Texas A&M, but Joseph said Miami was going to win, so he did
I'm
not
in trouble.
get that.
I'm digging a hole
so
for myself.
with the top 5, our top 5 games of last week, I ended up being 3 for 5, which, with that Michigan State game and the BYU game, that's kind of how that went. The crowd was also 3 and 5, and same with ESPN was also 3 and 5. And then Joseph, you were 2 and 5. So there you go.
Man.
Joseph is batting at 60%, and I'm batting at 80%.
Dang.
So there
Good
you
for
go.
you.
And then I'm down 10% from last week. And then we also keep track kind of our top 20, the other top 25 games, the Jordan Quick Picks that we go fast over. I got them all right, actually, and Joseph only got one wrong. He said Texas Tech would beat NC State, which they did not. So there you go. And so that brings in the final scores. Joseph is at 68 points, and I am at 76 points. So I'm still holding strong for now.
You know what happened last year?
Yeah, he was winning for quite a while.
Yeah, I was winning for
Like
quite a while,
weeks.
and then Jordan came and made a comeback, and a big comeback. You beat
And I
him by a lot.
won.
But
So
maybe that's what happened this year.
Is going to happen this year.
I'm in it to win it this week, though. Just be ready. I'm coming.
With that, let's move in to week 4.
Interesting
I can't
fact
believe we're in
about.
week 4.
Oh, I know, and it's going so fast.
Oh my
I'm scared.
gosh.
But it's okay. It's okay. We'll be fine. We'll be
We'll
fine.
be fine.
We're still at the beginning. It's
Enjoy
okay.
it. Let's enjoy
Our
it.
game number 1.
But we are moving into conference season too, which
Is
is
this
like
getting into
so
conference?
fun. I love conference play because we got all the fun games.
We
and
still
the
have
fun
our
teams.
random out of conference games that
Which
will
is
happen.
the first one.
But most teams are moving
teams
into
will
their.
be, I think everyone except for game 1 is a conference game.
Yeah, most of them are. But yeah, here we go. And our game number 1, I'm really happy about it. I don't know why. It's so funny. And it was one of our preseason predictions. Some of them we've like Nebraska into the garbage. Our prediction for them.
Well,
gone.
one part of this was part of our preseason prediction.
It's true. But
we'll see. We'll show you.
game number 1, we have Duke undefeated.
3-0.
3-0 Duke at 3-0 Kansas.
Why aren't they ranked?
Oh my goodness.
Come on, put them in the rankings.
Interesting fact though, basketball schools, Duke, Kansas, North Carolina, and Kentucky, always known and thought of for their basketball. All 4 teams in football are 3-0. How about that? That's so wonderful. I'm pumped about it, and I'm here for it.
It is absolutely insane. Like, you would not think of that at all, especially like Duke has been terrible. Kansas was kind of on the rise last year, but still not good. Kentucky was decent last year. UNC was fine.
UNC's always good. They're always good.
But it is just absolutely insane. How could we not have Duke at Kansas be a game?
I'm here for it. I love it. My prediction for this game, Kansas. Go
I have to
Jayhawks.
100% say Kansas. 100%.
Go
I think
Jayhawks.
The
It'll be
Jayhawks are
so
gonna
fun.
win that game.
Oh.
That'll be fun. Okay, next we have game number 2. We have number 10, Arkansas, at number 23, Texas A&M. 3 home games in a row for Texas A&M.
Yeah, we have a few of those this year.
Yeah, we do. I think this will be an interesting game. Arkansas has done decent, but they've struggled kind of as well against teams they maybe shouldn't be struggling against as a number 10 team. They struggled. I think they played Missouri State last week. I think Missouri State, and they struggled. They were losing.
They ended up winning 38-27.
Yeah, but that was not an accurate, really, depiction of how they win.
And Arkansas had to score 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Exactly. They were losing going into the fourth quarter. 21 points, 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So, anyway, again, maybe not a team they should be struggling against if they're a number 10 ranked team.
Yeah.
So with that, that'll be interesting. And again, Texas A&M only moved up 1 spot with beating Miami, so they still have a lot to prove, I think.
Who are you picking?
I don't know. You pick first.
No, you pick first. I picked first for the Kansas Duke.
Well, that one was easy. Okay, I'm gonna pick. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Gosh, this one's
Fine,
hard.
I have my pick. I'm going with the Razorbacks because they're back. Let's go, Arkansas.
Okay, you know what? Just for the sake of Joe versus Joe, I'm gonna go with the Aggies.
Fine.
Even though I actually really want the Razorbacks,
This
I'm
is
like
where-
low key a Razorbacks fan.
This is where I make my
This
comeback.
is probably where he makes his
Ooh,
comeback.
here I come.
Dang it.
Here I come. And the next game, we've got Wisconsin at number 3, Ohio State. It'll be interesting.
I'm gonna go with Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ohio State. However, I mean, this is against one of our rules in that we compare one game to another and how teams did against each other. You know, the triangle effect, where like if one team A, I don't even explain it. I'm sorry, but looking at Ohio State and how they played Notre Dame, they barely beat Notre Dame, and Notre Dame is not looking good. Granted, Notre Dame doesn't have their quarterback.
Last week, let's do a
It's
quick
okay.
Notre Dame update. They barely beat Cal, which is like one of the bottom teams in the Pac-12, and they were losing at one point, but they barely beat them by one touchdown, 24-17.
So kind of interesting. I don't know how good Ohio State is. You're good. They're good. But how good? You know, I don't know. And so I think Wisconsin will be a good measuring stick for Ohio State. However,
But
I am going to go with Ohio State.
Wisconsin also lost to Washington State just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Washington
so-
State's tough, though.
Yeah, but
So,
still, is
yeah.
it tougher than Notre Dame? I don't know.
right now, I would
Maybe.
say that's my opinion.
I don't know. We'll
It's an
see.
opinion, though.
So, yeah. Okay, so we both go Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Interesting. Okay, next for game number 4, we have number 5 Clemson at number 21 Wake Forest. This is the first real test of Clemson if Clemson is back. I don't know how good Wake Forest is, to be honest. Like, I don't know how good anyone is except for Georgia. I think
Yeah.
Georgia is solid.
they're
It's
so
the only one I
complete.
could confidently say. Alabama, yeah, but I'm just saying Georgia all the way right now. Anyway, off that point, Clemson has not had, a great, tough schedule so far. So, of course, they've, blown out teams or beat teams. So, this is, their first game with a decent opponent. So, let's see how they do with Wake Forest. Wake Forest has, not really beat many teams by much. Teams that they maybe
Well, and
should
they
be
struggled
beating
this
more.
past week, too.
They struggled hard against Liberty. Barely beat them by 1 point.
Well, 1 touchdown. Well,
Oh,
no,
1
1 point. I'm sorry.
was like, I
I
thought it
didn't
was
see
one
the 6 looked like a
touchdown.
0. I apologize.
It
I
was
apologize.
36 to
1 point.
37.
And it was Liberty had a chance.
Yeah.
They had a chance.
For sure they had a chance. So, if you're number 21, you should probably be beating teams like Liberty by a lot more than that. So I just don't think Wake Forest is that good. So with that, I am going to go Clemson.
Me as well. I'm going with Clemson. I'm a believer with Clemson this year. I'm a
Yeah.
believer. We'll see, though. We'll see how
So
far
many
that takes me.
interesting things right here.
But anyway. All right. And with our game of the week, we have Tennessee. Well, sorry,
Well, we have
Florida.
number 20 Florida.
At number 11, Tennessee. Well, it's going to be so good. I'm so ready for this matchup. I think it's just juicy. It's a game you want to watch, and it's just going to be fun. It's going to be loads
Is
of
the
fun.
SEC East back?
Maybe. Well, then you look at it and they have to go deal with Georgia. So
Yeah, well, Georgia, yeah.
Maybe.
But I'm just saying, this is a good game. SEC East, Tennessee and Florida are both, well, they're not both undefeated, but they're both doing well. They're both in the rankings. Tennessee's undefeated. Florida with 1 loss against Kentucky.
Yeah, and and Florida's tough. They played Kentucky tough, and they were right in it. And
I do get concerned over last week. Florida barely beat South Florida at home
yeah,
by 3 points.
Very
So that's
odd.
kind of interesting. Tennessee's looking good, but again, they haven't had anyone to test them, where Florida's had a lot
is
of tests.
Tennessee back?
Yeah,
We'll find
I
out
don't
this
know.
week, I think.
Okay.
No, you're picking.
No, I picked Clemson and I picked Ohio State first.
But I picked a harder one first.
This
Tennessee,
is so hard.
let's go. That's who's gonna win.
Dang, that's who I was going to pick.
You should go with Florida.
Gosh, I don't want to get too far behind already. I already said
You
Texas
could also get
A&M.
really far ahead.
I know. I think I got to go with Tennessee, though. I just don't really have
Okay.
confidence in Florida right now.
That's just fine. All right. And that's our game of the week. Florida at Tennessee. Please send in your prediction to get a shout out and $1. We'd love to have it for the crowd challenge. And yeah. But make sure you send in who you think is going to win and the score prediction. We need both. And with that, we will be able to tell you if you won or not. And we love it. We love it. And that's the game of the week. And let's dive right into Jordan's quick picks.
We're going to go over the rest of the games in the top 25 and just really, really quick. Okay. First, we have Kent State at number 1 Georgia. Do we even need to say who's going to win that game?
Georgia.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, next we have Maryland at number 4 Michigan. Next we have Central Michigan at number 14 Penn State.
Penn State, but do not mess it up with Central Michigan. They're dangerous.
Yep.
That's all I have to say.
Number 17 Baylor at Iowa State. I'm going to go with Iowa State.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know if they'll
This
actually
is where I
win,
make
but,
my comeback.
Let's just be fun. I know I'm getting too confident.
Let's go. Let's go. It'll be great.
Okay. Next, we have Rhode Island at number 24 Pitt. Next, we have number 22 Texas at Texas Tech.
Texas.
Next, we have MTSU at number 25 Miami. Next, we have number 15 Oregon at Washington State.
Ooh, that's a good matchup.
That's a trap game for Oregon.
Well, it's a trap game for Washington State, too. Well, yeah. Honestly, they're both tough.
They are both tough.
I could see it going either way. Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to say Oregon because I think they figured something out last week.
I'm going to go with Washington State.
Okay, sounds good.
I think they're tough.
They are tough for sure. Okay, next we have Tulsa.
It's at is it at Washington State?
Yes, it's at Washington
Okay, yeah, I'll
State.
stick with my prediction.
I'm sticking with Oregon, but I don't feel confident in that at all.
All right.
Okay. Next we have Tulsa at number 16 Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Next, Northern Illinois at number 8 Kentucky. Vanderbilt at number 2 Alabama. Vanderbilt. Just kidding. Alabama.
Roll Tide, Alabama.
Next, we have UConn at number 12, NC State. Kansas State at number 5, Oklahoma. Number 6, Oklahoma, sorry. Oklahoma. And number 7, USC at Oregon State. This is also an interesting game and also kind of a trap game for USC.
Oregon State is tough. I'm going to go with USC.
I'm going with USC. They're looking good.
Both teams are undefeated.
Both teams are undefeated.
Wow.
Next, Wyoming at number 19, BYU.
BYU
is going to be mad. BYU. Next, number 13, Utah at Arizona State.
Utah.
Stanford at number 18, Washington.
Washington, yes.
I thought he was going to go with Stanford to throw a little.
No.
I was like, please go with Stanford.
Wonderful. And that's our show. Please, again, subscribe, like our stuff. Send in your predictions. Send in your pictures. And we'd love to hear from you. And just thank you so much for listening.
So excited for another week of college football.
We love it.
Okay.
Catch you next week.
Into it.